if something goes wrong with an AI app or it says here an employee built AI app, but maybe let's just say some sort of AI application, who owns the liability? Like if we're using Claude code inside of an app and it gives a problematic answer or response that the application then spits out or takes action on. Is it Anthropic? Is it the company who wrote the application? Is it the developer? Who's at fault when there's some issue that happens with an AI-enabled app?
This came from like an IBM manual written in the 1970s, which was you can't ever hold a machine accountable, which is why decision making needs to, you can't delegate decision making. A human needs to be making the decision. And I'd say for the most part, I think the way that our current legislation and like case law is progressed, at least in the United States, certainly in Europe, is the company carries the liability, not the model provider. And I think that's the model providers are bringing tools that then an organization is making a decision to use, and therefore that act of making that decision makes that company liable. Now, I'm sure that there are probably edge cases and very complicated, nuanced conversations that happen in this space, but starting with that in mind and building in defense and layering your observability, layering your supply side monitoring and inventory, I think is generally going to be the safest way that you can manage that risk.
Product liability applied to software is still a very fuzzy issue, even in regulatory circles. So hopefully it doesn't take, as always, some catastrophe to force the conversation around what should happen there.